Well, 2015 was a very strong set of results, largely driven by international traffic and also investment driving yield expansion across all our businesses. So revenue grew by 5.6% and EBITDA grew by 5.8%. The key drivers of growth were we had 7 new international airlines, and together with a significant number of our existing carriers adding capacity, you'll see 1.5 million new seats for this year. We also hit a number of key milestones for last year as well. Last year, we completed renegotiations with all of our international airline partners. We concluded the T3 transaction, and we executed a $339 million investment program on time and on budget. Well, the key drivers of our revenue are passengers, investment and management initiatives. Passengers are actually growing very strongly. We had 2 very strong months of growth at the beginning of this year in January and February. International passengers, which drive about 70% of our revenues, grew 9.5% and over 12.5% respectively for January and February. We also have now become the number 1 airport for long-haul low-cost carriers in the world. We now have 5 airlines serving the airport, and they carry about 11% of our international passengers. And they use our infrastructure very efficiently, and the exciting thing is they're actually driving new demand travel from a range of new markets. We've got 4 main lines of business. We've got aviation, which is about half of our revenues, and then the other half of the revenues is a portion between retail, which is about 22%, property, which is about 17%, and car parking, which is around 12%. The standout performers were actually aviation and car parking. So aviation being driven by a combination of international passengers. International passengers perform very strongly and represent about 70% of our overall revenues. So a strong driver of our revenues on the aviation side, but also the very significant investment program was also a key driver of the aviation business. And car parking is being driven by the very strong performance of the online business. People are really taking advantage of our significant discounts by parking online, and we're now up to about 400,000 people booking online. T3 is performing very well since we completed that transaction in September last year. At Terminal 2, we've actually completed a very significant refresh of the dining offering there. And then at Terminal 1, we've got a very significant improvement program underway there, improving the ambience and presentation of the terminal, improving the sight lines through to gates and putting more seating throughout the terminal. We're also in the process of doing a very significant upgrade and refresh of all the retail and dining options as well. We continue to work with the Australian Government to evaluate the opportunity to develop and operate the Western Sydney Airport. And the Government has indicated that they'll be providing Sydney Airport with a proposal or a notice of intention which will contain all the material terms for the development and operation of the airport during 2016. Well, the focus will be to continue to execute on our strategic priorities. So partnering for growth in aviation, investing in capacity and efficiency, and continuing to deliver a superior passenger experience.